In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything.
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Yeah.
Woke is a word used by the black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate.
We're all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bill Maher didn't just challenge Sunny Hostin. He tore her argument to shreds with the precision of a sniper and the punch of a stand-up king. It wasn't just a rebuttal, it was a demolition. And what made it hit even harder? They're both liberals, supposedly on the same team. But Maher made it crystal clear. He's not playing for the woke squad. It all started when Hostin accused him of calling woke the reason everything's falling apart. But Maher didn't flinch. He shut it down instantly. I never said it's ruining everything, he snapped back. I said it's why Trump could win again. Just like that, the room shifted. She tried to spin the narrative, but Maher pulled the rug out from under her. Calm, calculated, and devastating. Hostin thought she had him cornered, like she could shame him into backing down. But Maher saw the trap a mile away. He didn't just dodge it, he exposed it. In one sharp counter, he revealed the woke playbook for what it is: weaponized language, used not to debate, but to destroy. He didn't fall into the trap, he set his own, and she walked right into it.
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice. Who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know. Want to call it the super far left?
Bill Maher opened strong by sidestepping Sunny Hostin's trap with ease. He didn't argue over definitions. He flipped the entire conversation. Maher pointed out that language isn't fixed, it evolves. And that's exactly what happened with the word woke. It once meant awareness of injustice, but now it's been twisted by extremists on both ends, and Maher called it out. Instead of getting defensive, he leaned into the new meaning, using it to highlight how far the far left has drifted. Hostin thought she had set a clever trap, ready to paint him as a hypocrite. But she underestimated Maher. He flipped the script so fast, she didn't realize she'd just walked right into the snare she had set for him.
But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Did you catch that moment? Bill Maher, a lifelong liberal, openly admitted he had a wake-up call when he saw the so-called woke crowd showing support for Hamas. That was his breaking point. The very people who preached tolerance were cheering on a group bent on destruction, while slamming Israel for merely defending its existence. It was a moment of raw clarity, and for all his progressive beliefs, Maher was just as stunned by this insanity as anyone else watching.
Well, I mean, it's just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your values.
Most of the women on The View, Hostin included, would opt to live in Israel over Palestine. Israelis share values that resonate. With American culture making them far more appealing in reality, none of the self-styled woke would choose Palestine. With its rigid laws that stifle women's freedoms, Maher didn't hold back. Laying be the stark double standards of the woke brigade, they vociferously criticize Israel while they'd barely endure a few minutes under Palestine's oppressive rules. The irony was undeniable. Maher spotlighted the glaring disparity in women's rights between Israel and Palestine, and that revelation sent the woke faction into a tizzy.
I mean, women have no, I mean, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place, and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from harassment.
The LGBTQ community.
I mean, yes. You that too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world, where women are second-class citizens. at best.
Bill Maher delivered yet another devastating blow, this time by shining a spotlight on the brutal gender inequality in many Muslim-majority nations. And here's the twist. These are the very same regimes that the so-called woke crowd rushes to defend. Maher didn't just call out hypocrisy. He threw down a challenge, daring Sunny Hostin and her allies to actually experience life under those oppressive laws. Imagine it. A quick trip to witness firsthand how women are stripped of their voice, freedom, and dignity. That suggestion alone hit like a knockout punch. Hostin and the panel had no comeback, just the usual fallback, acting like they're innocent bystanders. But Bill Maher wasn't about to let them off easy. If they thought he was finished, they were about to get another reality check they would forget.
We're all concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women.
Of
and
course.
are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Hostin quickly caught on that Bill Maher had just torn her argument to pieces, especially the part where she questioned how a real liberal could reject woke ideology. Desperate to regain control, she pivoted to a classic tactic, smearing his character by suggesting he was somehow okay with violence against innocent people. It was a last-ditch effort straight from the woke playbook. When the facts fail, go after someone's morals. But Maher didn't flinch. He saw it coming from a mile away and launched a ruthless counterattack that left Hostin's strategy in ruins. It wasn't just a comeback. It was a precision strike that deserves serious credit.
Well, that's ridiculous, but because it's a they were and they're defending themselves. Now, this is do you think Hamas needs to be
Hostin quickly realized Bill Maher had just wrecked her earlier claim that a real liberal should embrace woke culture. So, in a final attempt to win back control, she pulled a classic move accusing him of siding with violence against innocent civilians. It's the same tired strategy. When the facts fall apart, shift to moral outrage. But Maher saw it coming like clockwork. He shut it down with a ruthless response that didn't just dismantle her point, it shredded the entire woke playbook. And here's the kicker. This wasn't just a comeback. It was a clinic in how to destroy a setup with surgical precision. You'll want to pay close attention to this one.
This is the question.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So how can we get out with a ceasefire?
All right. So Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means. Okay? And they say it very openly. They said we did this. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and building tunnels.
It was clear Hostin was left speechless as Bill Maher unleashed a fiery takedown that hit hard. But don't think for a second he was done. He was just getting started. Let's see what bombshell he delivers next.
So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop it, Israel.
And then it happened. Bill Maher dropped a truth bomb so calm and devastating, it froze the room. Applause broke out instantly from everyone except Hostin, who sat there stunned like she'd just been drenched in cold water. Maher had just dissected the woke mindset with such precision, even the usually left-leaning audience couldn't help but cheer. He exposed every flaw in their narrative, line by line. But he wasn't done yet. He held back one final blow saved for when Whoopi questioned whether the media was pushing a biased story. Get ready for this one.
It's just nothing.
Yeah.
And it's narrative over truth. You know, I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it.
Yeah.
And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other half.
Yeah.
Once again, Bill Maher came out swinging, this time taking a direct shot at the woke agenda by calling it what it really is, narrative over truth. And if you've been paying attention, you know exactly what he means. For the far left, truth is secondary. What matters most is pushing their rigid worldview, no matter how dishonest or one-sided it gets. Anyone who dares to question that narrative, they get canceled, silenced, and erased. That's exactly why Maher refuses to fall in line. He sees the woke movement as a Trojan horse, full of hidden agendas designed to tear apart the very foundation of American values. His fearless takedown didn't just rattle the View panel, it even earned him nods from some on the right. And Hostin? She looked like she'd just seen a ghost, visibly shaken and itching to shut it down. In one final Hail Mary, she accused Maher of betraying his progressive roots. But just like clockwork, Maher came back with a flawless counterpunch.
There's old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives. There's still some of those
You've
left.
You've changed, though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Well, that's what I. Well, that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And you know, we were saying in the break we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest because this is a word that's triggering. But I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.
Bill Maher left no room for doubt. He sees himself as an old school liberal, one who fights for real solutions, not feel-good slogans. His version of social justice isn't about babying people or letting them spiral while pretending it's noble. He drew a clear line between genuine compassion and the performative nonsense dominating today's woke circles. Maher broke it down with a hard truth. A true liberal would work to get homeless people off the streets and into proper care, but the woke mindset? They romanticize suffering, acting like sidewalk encampments or some kind of empowered lifestyle, and then guilt everyone else into accepting it. And if you dare to challenge that delusion, you're instantly branded as heartless and wiped out from the conversation without hesitation.
Homeless was a term that I thought we kind of came up with because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos.
Now that's
homeless. No.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's people
Unhoused.
experiencing
Now it's
homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals. We're compassion. Let's get these people off the street.
Yeah.
That's not the view of the whatever word we're going to come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life under a bridge.
Bill Maher's fearless humor, cutting sarcasm, and unshakable confidence lit up the entire segment, earning him serious respect across the board. Viewers were stunned by how easily he dismantled the woke talking points. One fan put it perfectly. "I've never seen anyone tear apart the left's narrative so smoothly." He left the view speechless. Others chimed in, slamming the hypocrisy. One comment read, "These hosts cry about bias in media, yet they dominate 90% of it and still silence the other side." Another called out Hostin directly. "Sunny keeps twisting words and putting statements in people's mouths. That's not debate, it's gaslighting." Maher's appearance wasn't just another promo stop, it was a full-blown reality check. He came prepared, stayed composed, and completely flipped the script on his critics. And he didn't stop at the woke crowd. Maher even turned his sights on President Biden, questioning whether Biden's visible aging is starting to affect his ability to lead the country with strength and clarity.
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like. That single line from Bill Maher landed like a lightning strike. Cold, brutal, and painfully accurate. It wasn't just a jab, it was a full-scale roast of President Biden that stopped the room in its tracks. But the real sting? Maher's comment echoed a growing sentiment that Biden is no longer the one truly in control. Behind the polished speeches and teleprompter moments, there's a belief that he's just a figurehead, a symbolic leader, while unelected handlers operate the levers of power behind closed doors. And when Maher touched on that, he gave voice to what millions have been quietly thinking. His appearance on The View wasn't just a spirited debate, it was a demolition job. With each line, he carved through the spin and sanctimony like a scalpel. Sunny Hostin looked like she wanted the floor to open up and swallow her. The rest of the panel couldn't keep up. And the usually loyal audience, even they couldn't help but applaud the unfiltered truth. From dismantling the woke narrative to exposing the frailty of Biden's leadership, Bill Maher proved one thing. He's not here to play politics. He's here to tell the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it makes the left. And when he dropped that final truth bomb, it didn't just end the discussion, it torched the entire script the woke mob had been clinging to. Hostin's arguments crumbled, the narrative fell apart, and what was left was silence, shock, and a standing ovation from those finally hearing someone say what needed to be said. That's going to do it for today's video. If you're tired of the echo chamber and ready for more brutally honest breakdowns like this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Imagine being compared to a lifeless body on national television, not because of policy, but because of how you carry yourself. That's next level savage. Maher didn't pull any punches, and he didn't sugarcoat the reality. Biden may still be in office, but he's projecting weakness and decay. Two things no world leader can afford. Catch you in the next one.